Man, so we are here right now, man, on the day after one of the biggest pay-per-views of the year. That was a pay-per-view for the ages, man. And look, just to preface the audience, man, I know we usually do a multitude of sports. We cover the W, we cover football, we cover basketball. But tonight, y'all are in for a special treat because we're going to specialize this show and dedicate this show strictly for SummerSlam and wrestling at this point. But for all the audience that are used to us doing everything right about now, this is strictly a wrestling show. We will get back to football and covering the W later in the week and next week. I can guarantee you that. But for right now, man, how's my panel doing, man? How my co-holders doing, man? How y'all doing this week, man?
After that SummerSlam, good God.
Yeah, same. That was a talk about making up for WrestleMania. I mean, that was a great SummerSlam. So I can't. This is great. Before we get, I don't want to just get right into it, but yeah, I'm doing great. It was a good relaxed weekend. My daughter loved night one. Night one was awesome. She did the podcast with us, and she had a blast. She wants to do it again sometime. So it was a lot of fun. She had a ball. So good, doing great.
BRL.
Man, I had a night one doing the part with the Sports View Wrestling was amazing. Hanging with Trail and John, it's always a blast hanging with them. Getting to meet JoJo for the first time, she's a delight. She's awesome. I see why they picked her for the group. I think she's gonna do amazing things with them. Hey, it was a good weekend. This is my last week. My daughter's going home this weekend, so definitely trying to make all the time worth it with her before she goes back. And rain kind of set me back a little bit today. It was a slow work day, but hey, all in all, it was a good weekend and just ready for another week. And I'm ready to get into this with y'all fellas.
Oh man, look, I'm gonna just be real. I was so happy to do that show last Saturday, man. That was a show for the ages, man. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I would never forget that show. That was so. Hey, man, JoJo was killing me with the side out, man. I was messing with JoJo by the
I need that as a meme. I really do.
Hey, the video, hey man, it was a collaboration. So if you're looking for it, it's on YouTube. It's on our YouTube channel. So hey man, JoJo with the side out JoJo. So I mean, we appreciate that. That was awesome, man.
All I'm gonna say with this, she is smart, she is knowledgeable, but I will say this: when you look like JoJo, you can get away with a side eye.
And we say that respectfully, by the way.
Very respectfully. Very respectfully.
Respectfully, by the way. Very respectfully. So let's just get right into it, man. Look, I know that each of us had our own sentiments about WrestleMania. I know that a lot of us, especially Flash and BRF, said it could have been a hell of a lot better than what it was, especially with the Travis Scott thing that's going on, and now he's disappeared into kind of obscurity at this point. But
little skinny asshole.
You need to chill, bro. You need to chill. And that dude is skinny though. He ain't as defined. When you think about Dennis Rodman, at least he had a little bit of bigness to him. But you think about Travis Scott, you think about that little skinny dude that you used to toss in the locker room, toss in the trash can. Like Hey Arnold, remember they used to toss dudes in the trash can at the end of the school year? He reminded me
like that song Fiend. Be like, motherfucker, Fiend for a Big Mac. What are you doing?
that was you're right, because that was the other thing too. I think I mentioned it too. I'm like, he's not even intimidating. Like, he's the size of a grape. Like, I just sit there like, why are you like out here? Like, what like, and you have no mic skills. You have no, like, you're contributing nothing.
Go. Yeah, and they tried to, and look, I'm not gonna lie, I did this as well. because I tried to win y'all over with the whole Dennis Rodman comparison, but y'all wasn't going for it. No, I tried to win.
Look, Dennis Rodman and Karl Malone were 6'9", 6'10" basketball players with size. I mean, that's acceptable. Travis Scott was like 125 soaking wet, and I'm probably being nice.
Yeah. Like my cat right here could take out Travis Scott. Like he'd have no problem. And this dude's 18 years old, and he'd take him out.
Little kitty.
He'd take him out, no problem.
A swift blow from the wind, and you'll see him just flying somewhere.
Well, the other thing with Dennis Rodman was he epitomized the mid '90s, the anti-establishment, the rebellious nature, like all of his dyed hair and piercings, and going all off into Vegas and having them to like that. He was a perfect celebrity personality for wrestling at the time, especially the NWO. Exactly. Like he was perfect. Travis Scott was just like there. Like he didn't contribute anything. So that was the thing that bothered me the most. It's like, if you're going to be a celebrity and you're not going to take it seriously in ring wise, then I need you can still contribute if you suck in the ring. Like, you can be an annoying, even if you're just a mouthpiece. Like, it'd have been great if he dude, you know what I would have done with Travis Scott if he had any talent on the mic at all? I would have had that dude come out with Cena, because everybody wants to hear Cena speak. Everybody. That's that. When Cena was heel, I would have had Travis Scott come out with Cena as many times as he could. And everybody, and like Cena would grab the mic and he'd go to speak and he'd go, nah, you don't get to hear me speak. You get to listen to Travis Scott speak. And then just let him go. Dude, the heat that he would have gotten if you'd have been any good would have been brilliant. But you contributed. You literally came out and smoked a blunt and looked stupid. And that's all you did.
And you stiff Cody Rhodes in the face.
Yeah, you literally stiffed the company face, like the face of the company, so terribly that you almost got your ass whipped backstage.
That actually happened.
Oh yeah, like
I thought there was a rumor going around.
No. There's a straight up clip that zoomed in. He busted his eardrum. He hit him that hard in the face.
No, I'm not talking about that part. I saw that part. We saw that live in Living Color, but I didn't know the boys in the back want to beat the hell out of him.
Oh, there's a couple.
He covered that.
Yeah, like you don't
Sports PSP.
You don't punch the face of the company, like you don't bust the face of the company's eardrum, and nobody's going to be mad about it. Like there was a lot of people. Speaking of busting eardrums and stuff, Alexa Bliss is on television, and that. Yep. Okay. Anywho. Yeah. So let's just roll right into SummerSlam. Let's start with opening match. BRF.
Was it the PLE? Was the pay-per-view of the year?
Not even close. Yes. Not even close. Not even like if we're talking sheer WWE, not even close. And I called this Thursday. Like
you really did.
Yeah, like the angles, the build up was all beautifully done compared to what it was at WrestleMania. There was like not a bad the card from match 1 of night 1 to the main event of night 2 were all like good quality matches, and all of them for the most part really lived up. The only one that really didn't live up, honestly, the whole weekend was Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa. But you got that sick moonsault spot off the top of the cage from Jacob Fatu. So he gave you a spot. He gave you a big spot anyway. So yeah, go ahead.
Are we done with Solo? I felt like this was his chance to like elevate himself.
No, because
terrible booking last year. And not like we're done, like let him go or release him. I'm just saying,
no, because No, because we're not done. No, they're not done with him from the standpoint the charisma shot up. He's like the post show. He was ridiculously good on the post show. So
Yeah.
it's like so like not see. I think that match was just a little rushed. I don't think they got as much time as they should have got. I think that match was a little rushed. I think there's a good 20-minute match in there with Solo and Jacob. And I mean, if you look at Jacob, if you go back to his indie days and his MLW days, home all he did was put on bangers.
Oh, I
And
know.
like and all he's really done, and since he's been in WWE, he's already put on some banger matches. So I think there's a good 20-minute match in there somewhere. Because I don't think this angle's quite done. So but as far as Solo, nah, I think the momentum is there as far as like him getting to be himself, and the fans are like the fans are taking to him a little bit. So it's like, nah, I don't think they're done. I don't think they're done with Solo. I think he's gonna have a decent reign. I think he's gonna have a good reign as United States champion. I don't think they're done. I don't think it's done.
Okay.
I think that match was a little bit over damn booked. To be honest with you, they overbooked the hell out of that match. It
And it
reminded
was
me of,
rushed.
huh?
And it was rushed.
Yeah, I'm piggybacking off of what you said. It was rushed and they just overbooked the hell out of it. And it's just sometimes I don't think they know that Jacob is the bigger star. They know that Jacob is the bigger star, but they don't want they don't want to super overshadow Solo because of so much they have invested in him at this point. So yeah, that's what I believe. But as far as it being PLE of the year, BRF, you said it, man. He's like, it's gonna be PLE of the year. I like I said, I thought he was dragging a little bit, but it was just like then we started looking at it. Night one, it set the tone. I mean, the tribal chief sacrificing himself for Jay Uso. I mean, that just set the tone for everything. That was a long knockout, drag out match. You had Jade Cargill, which we will get into later, having her best match. Having her best match in the WWE, in my humble opinion.
Dude, it's crazy. I think everybody forget because Roman's kind of become he's at that point in the company and has been for a while where he's like, 5 or 6 moves and that's about it. He doesn't. And everybody forgot, I think, how everybody is shocked when he jumped over the top rope.
He did that in the Shield.
Yeah. Like go back and watch some of the Shield versus the Wyatts, which is some of the best stuff that was during the latter stages of the Vince era. Those Wyatt versus Shield matches are amazing. And the reason why the Shield was so good, they're all stupidly athletic. And Roman's just gotten to the point where he doesn't have to show it off anymore. And it was nice to see him pull that out of his bag and realize, like, yeah, I can still do something that, I can still pull this off.
Yeah. Hey, I'm glad that he was able to do that, man. And plus, you got to think about this. When a lot of guys who are agile guys become world heavyweight champion, they strongly advise you against being that high flyer. Remember, they did the same thing with Randy Orton. Remember, Randy Orton used to be a high flyer. Then they put the brakes on him being a high flyer. Remember Arn Anderson telling them that, save all the high flying stuff for the smaller guys. Although he was a high flyer at the beginning of his career, Cody Rhodes was a bit of a high flyer when he was Stardust and he was in Legacy. He was a bit of a high flyer. You notice they grounded him. So a lot of times when these agile superstars that we were used to seeing do all these high risk maneuver, with the exception of, I will say, The Undertaker, a lot of these guys got grounded by leadership backstage. With the exception of The Undertaker, it was nothing to see him just dive over the top of the ropes and do his thing, especially with old school. Undertaker he was a heavyweight, but he worked like a cruiserweight at times. All those marvels that he would see, you rarely see big men do that. But a lot of times the high flyers, when they become world heavyweight champions, they're pretty much grounded at a certain point. They're very, very grounded. and they don't allow them to dig into that. That's how come you see the whole strength on strength now when Roman became the tribal chief versus when he was back in the Shield. You saw a hell of a lot. I mean, all three of them were high flyers. They were big time high flyers. All three of them. So yeah, I really believe that. Now look, let's address an elephant in the room, or rather a beast in the room. The return of Brock Lesnar. What are your thoughts about this? I have to hear y'all's opinion about this, man.
Go ahead, BRF.
I wasn't expecting him I wasn't expecting him at all. But first off, shout out to Michael Cole, one of the calls of the year, when Brock Lesnar reveals himself and walks from underneath the Tron, and Michael Cole literally drops an holy S-bomb. That's one of the calls of the year in the WWE. That was just crazy. But as far as Brock coming back, trust me, if you want to talk there, I don't think there's been a 50-50 split on a dude on just any angle or person returning in the WWE. I think there hasn't been a real 50-50 split on anything like this that we've heard or seen in a long time. And it makes sense from the standpoint of, we basically kind of figure, John Cena doing this retirement run is going to be his greatest hits. And honestly, there were only two more guys left. If you weren't going to bring The Rock back, legitimately, there were only two more guys that could have came back, and it could have really just full circled this off into his greatest hits. And one of them is in AEW, and his contract don't run out until October, but I don't see him going anywhere. One Adam Copeland. So I don't see him going. I don't see him coming back. But he could have been a perfect guy as far as greatest hits. Because in my opinion, Edge is John Cena's greatest rival. Edge is John Cena's greatest. No, I think it's Edge. A lot of people say Orton, and I understand it. The best storytelling, the best promos was Edge. The best storytelling and the best promos against one another was Edge.
Well, yeah, but you could argue that, but Edge was the best heel on the company for a good 3 to 5 year stretch.
Yes.
So I don't know about greatest.
I feel like the John Cena Edge matches as a whole were better than the John Cena Orton matches.
That match wise, yes. I think the matches were better. Yes.
Yeah. See, I understand why people are going to say Randy Orton, because OVW, they came up together, and they're probably just you can't have one without the other. So if it's out, I'm from an in-ring standpoint, I feel like Edge was Cena's best rival match-wise. Orton's the one you're going to measure up to him as far as the accolades and the longevity and just the back and forth, some of the greatest the rivalry, what was it? Was it 08, 09 between those two, the end of 09, where they had that stretch of just they had the Hell in a Cell, they had the I Quit, they had the No Holds Barred Iron Man match. I don't think you could have had a 3-match stretch with those kind of matches and be able to pull them off. But back to Brock. It makes sense from a standpoint that he's the guy. Cena's beaten him once. That's it. in big money matches, John Cena's beaten him once, and that was Extreme Rules 2012. And the only reason why they had John Cena go over on Brock was because that was Brock coming back from the 8 years from leaving, going to UFC, doing all that, and coming back. They wanted to see if they could draw with Brock. They didn't want to give him a win just right off the bat. They just wanted to see if they could draw and make money with him. And then when they saw that they could draw and make money with him, you saw what happened after that. They put the rocket ship on him, and then he became the greatest final boss in the history of the WWE. So I mean, you kind of saw what happened there. But I know why people are torn because of a certain situation that's still ongoing and still active. And there's just so many rumblings about it. Like I think the lawyer put out another statement talking about, things are going to come, things coming to light and them being held accountable and all that stuff. But like before, I think somebody had posted something saying that her lawyers basically said that he wasn't involved in any wrongdoings. He didn't do anything wrong. So it's kind of like, I don't know what to think about that. But I guess it's this is kind of one of those. I don't even want to go there because it's like, I'm not gonna champion him. I'm not gonna champion him coming back. I'm not gonna cope for him. I'm not gonna cape for him coming back because at the end of the day, was he needed? Nah, he wasn't needed. However, if the fact that John Cena going back babyface now has been solidified, now you have to really kind of have to display that. And I mean, what better villain to put up against John Cena than the guy John Cena's only beaten once? Exactly. The guy he's only beaten once. The guy who he's only beaten once in a big time big money match. I mean, this is the same. Even when they were younger. Even when they were younger, I believe it was Backlash. Yeah, it was Backlash 03 with the WWE Championship on the line. Brock Lesnar beat him then. So I mean, it's like Brock Lesnar has just always had his number. And I mean, you can go back to that infamous SummerSlam. I believe it was 2015, where Brock Lesnar just in my opinion, like very rarely do you get a squash match in a championship match of that kind of magnitude. But shout out to John Cena at the time, because this was after this was 2014. I believe it was 2014. It was 2014. I think it was 2014. But either way, this was fresh off. This was fresh. Yeah, it was 2014, because this was fresh off Brock beating Undertaker, ending the streak at WrestleMania 30. And John Cena just made the call, say, this man just beat the Undertaker, and you want us to have a close match? No. I'm gonna need him to beat me down. I'm gonna need to solidify this. Yeah. and that SummerSlam match was like, that was crazy what Brock Lesnar did to him in that SummerSlam match. That was one of the, if you want to look at it from a sport, if you want to talk about it from a sports perspective, we've seen like a lot of like great performances and dominating performances in the world of wrestling. That might have been the greatest display of a domination in a championship match we've ever seen.
Now, mind you, Super Cena was still a thing too.
Exactly. That's why people we were going in this match. Oh, this probably gonna be their best match. This gonna be a barn burner. And Brock Lesnar just runs through him.
Yeah, and by the way, and then to add to that, then just beats the dog shit out of Randy Orton, like right to the point where Chris Jericho thought like Lesnar took it too far. Which, by the way, like, look, I would have loved to see heard the story of like Brock Lesnar just squashing Jericho like a bug. That would have been hilarious. But yeah, like that whole run, like people get mad about that whole run, and I don't think making Lesnar what he was, like, he ends up like making Cody and making Roman, and like that was the point. Everybody disagrees that, like, if they would have given, the only other person that I thought they should have given, I did a whole video series on this on TikTok. The only other person they should have given the end of the streak to was Bray Wyatt. That's it. I thought Lesnar was the perfect choice. It was the most realistic choice. So, but yeah, that's a whole nother topic.
Exactly.
Now,
Undertaker, and he wanted it, and he at one point the story came out. Undertaker wanted to give it to Edge.
Yeah,
the WrestleMania 24 match, and Edge was like, Edge's like, no.
And Edge didn't need it. Neither did Lesnar, but Lesnar, like, if Edge wins, it doesn't elevate him the way, like, it elevated Lesnar to a more than just a star wrestler. It gave him a completely different, like, aura about him on a different level, like a final boss, like what you were saying. Like, it made him like,
he's the greatest final boss ever.
Yeah, besides Taker. Yeah,
besides Taker.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Look, I know this is not a part of the show, but I have to drop this pipe bomb on y'all real quick. So apparently, and I'm just love to make sure that we're updating our audience and everything like that. Now, apparently, TKO is eyeing for more 2-night events, and they're lobbying for Survivor Series and Royal Rumble to be 2-night events. So all the major players, I will say, Rumble, Mania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series. Those are the stable, the grand poobah, I will say, of the pay-per-views at this point. While we all know the other ones have their little things, but as far as the main four, they're looking for those 4 pay-per-view events to be 2-night events. I would love to know y'all thoughts upon that before we move into the next segment.
I personally would say no. I like the idea of SummerSlam and WrestleMania being the only 2 with 2 nights.
Okay.
They're the 2 biggest shows. Arguably, you could say the Royal Rumble is number 2, or 2A. But I feel like WrestleMania is the start/end of the season. SummerSlam is like the mid-season break, whatever. And
All-Star break.
Yeah. And I know why they want to do it. They make a shit ton of money. Yeah, like, I know why. I'm not naive to it, but it's the reason why the NFL will never go back to the weekend NFL draft. They make too much money doing it in prime time. Anywho, I would say no, but I know they're going to do it.
Frank?
I'm cool with WrestleMania and SummerSlam being the only 2 because, in my opinion, I think they are the greatest 2. I think SummerSlam has kind of taken that number 2 mantle from the Royal Rumble. But this is what I'll say: if you're gonna go big, if you're gonna go 2 nights on the big 4, and you're going to assure me that faces that don't normally get used on those 2-night shows, I'm all right with it. I'm okay with it. But me personally, like, I think the Survivor Series kind of just got its cachet back from the idea of War Games being a part of the Survivor Series pay-per-view now. I think they've gotten a little bit of mojo back. I don't think they've gotten 2 nights worth of mojo back, but I think they did get some mojo back. Royal Rumble, honestly, the Royal Rumble, to me, I can see it more than the Survivor Series, just from the standpoint you got the men's and the women's Royal Rumble match. And I feel like if you're going to do that, both of those should main event each night. The women should main event Saturday. The men should main event Sunday. If you're going to do it, that's how I would do it.
That's not a bad point. I actually like that. I'm that. You have the women's on Saturday and the men's on Sunday. You know what? You could even have like all women on, like do the women's
Like
side of the roar.
like the varsity women's and the varsity men's.
Yeah, and then you could have all your under, and then whatever title or matches you have. I just don't know if there would be enough matches for 2 nights on the Royal Rumble. That's it.
Yeah. Me personally, if they weren't so close together, I feel the Money in the Bank pay-per-view is more worthy of a 2-night showcase than the Survivor Series is, because of the men's and the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. I think it should be the same. I think it should be the same concept as the Royal Rumble. Those matches should main event each night, unless there's just this blood feud, crazy men's or women's world title match that just has to be the main event. I think the men's and the women's Money in the Bank ladder match should main event each of those nights. I think the Money in the Bank match is more worthy of a 2-night showcase more than Survivor Series, personally.
I also think that there would be enough matches for 2 nights. You're right, for Money in the Bank. Whereas the Royal Rumble might be a struggle because everybody's in the Rumble essentially, except for
except for the title matches that you're gonna have that night, and you may have 1 or 2 grudge matches. But yeah, you basically got 30 men and 30 women booked for that. So I mean, that's taking up a lot of your roster right there. Me personally, the two nights. Now that I think about it, Money in the Bank should be a 2-night showcase.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yep.
What do y'all think about PSP's comment? How bad of a look it was to bring back Brock to SummerSlam? I know y'all covered it earlier, but do you think it's a super bad look, or it's just like, are we blowing it out of proportion just a little bit? Because the lawyers have come out and stated that he's not the subject of their investigation.
I do still think it's a bit of a bad look from the standpoint that even though the lawyers have saying there was no wrongdoing on his part, it's the fact that he was named in it still that's gonna leave a bad taste in people's mouths about it. The fact that he was still named to it, and listen, I'll say this. I do feel like TKO, I feel like they do care about their image, because they fired I think after that came out from the jump, and the whole Slim Ship partnership and everything and all that was going on, they kicked Vince to the curb. They said, okay, go and sell your shares. No, we can't have this. Sell your shares, get up out of here. And I would strongly hope that they're doing this from a standpoint they know Brock's in the clear. I would not think they would put Brock Lesnar on TV during John Cena's retirement tour of all things if Brock Lesnar wasn't cleared to go. But I do still think it's a bit of a bad look, because regardless, he was still named. He was still named in that, and I do still think, from a standpoint, it's SA. It's SA, and that ain't nothing to play with.
No, not with him.
I know that, but the point of the lawsuit is still based around that, whether he did it or not.
But he's not accused of that. I want to make that certain, because I saw a TikTok video of a girl saying that he was I'm tired of everybody acting like we can't say adult words anymore. That he's a rapist. Like, whoa. I don't. Let's be clear what this is. He was named in the lawsuit that he was given videos or opportunities to see videos and pictures of what either Vince or anybody else was doing with Janelle Grant. That's it. Or he was offered up Janelle for something, in a physical manner. And from everything that's come out, including her attorneys, that he is not a subject, he didn't take it. So I personally look at it this way. Is it controversial? Sure. You're going to see a bunch of people get outraged by a lot of stuff. But I also don't want to live in a society that if you are cleared of wrongdoing, which apparently he is, now unless something else happens that comes out, then I will change what I will change my opinion on it. But I also don't want to live in a society where if somebody is cleared of something that we're like, well, it might hurt some people's feelings, let's not go that route. I think somebody should be able to live their lives and do their business if they are cleared of wrongdoing. Because at the end of the day, you're innocent until proven guilty. And we've seen this with the lacrosse kids. We've seen this with a bunch of that one guy that ended up playing for the Falcons that went away for 5 years because because people have lied. If you're cleared of stuff, I don't see the controversy. Are there people that are going to be mad? Sure, but again, if her own attorneys say that he's not the subject of this, which he isn't, it's Vince and John Laurinaitis. And John Laurinaitis is the last thing that I saw that they got John Laurinaitis to flip on Vince McMahon. So,
yep.
Damn.
This isn't a criminal suit. This is a civil one.
A civil suit.
It's a civil suit. So,
hey, in the great words of Jay-Z, about to start bitching, ain't you? Ready to start snitching, ain't you? Damn. And I'm not trying to lessen anything that may or may not have happened. I'm just talking from a pure Brock Lesnar sense. That's it. Yeah, and I'm not saying that you're trying to. The thing is, number one, I will say to your point, because I'm going to defend my guys till the cows come home, and then we can put that some gun in the fryer. We can fry them. But if we've done our research and you're saying someone is in the clear, they're not the subject of the investigation, you can't retry the damn trial. I mean, you can't retry the trial, and you can't sit around here and say, well, and if her own lawyers, the victim says that he's not the subject of this case, and he reportedly said, no, I'm not going to be involved with that from the jump, then guess what? Whether you like it or not, do your research enough to know who's involved with the case and who's not. That's the thing. And we are
and me personally.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I'm just gonna say, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I just want to say personally, just following Brock Lesnar and just seeing and hearing interviews and hearing how he is as a person. I'm not saying he wouldn't be capable, but he just strikes me as a guy who's way too introverted to participate in something like this.
Well, the thing is, the whole plane ride from here, the first thing that people are going to look at, BRF, to your point, then we got to move on a few. The first thing people are going to look at, they're going to say, well, he's innocent, but he does have a rap sheet as far as the plane ride from hell, the alleged incident with him and Terry Rollins. People are going to look at that and say, well, he did do that, allegedly. And they say, well, if you're capable of doing that, you're capable of taking it too far. But if you're not a subject of an investigation and people have already put you in the clear, the victim's lawyers have, then guess what? Hey, it's like, it's time to, you may not like it, but I didn't do, it's kind of like somebody saying, hey, Champ was in a fight, and then everybody saying, no, Champ wasn't even there. He's trying to break up the fight, as a matter of fact. And then they say, but still. No, ain't no but still. I didn't have anything to do with that shit. That's that. So I mean, we can't convict someone based on feelings. I mean, I ain't never heard feelings convict anybody. So, but there is, yeah, I just got into that, PSP. The whole Terry Reynolds instance, because people are going to point to that and say, hey, if he's capable of, being obnoxious in that manner, he's capable of taking it a little bit too far.
What happened with Terry Reynolds? I don't know.
He, how Ric Flair used to open up his robe. He used to go around and flash Terry, allegedly, when she stated
Lesnar did or Flair did?
Lesnar.
Oh.
You got to watch Dark Side of the Ring. Let's give them credit so we won't get sued. Okay. Give them credit because they brought that story to light on the plane ride from hell. Y'all, you know what I'm talking about? Flash, plane ride from hell. Yeah. So apparently on the plane ride from hell, he flashed her, and Dustin Runnels, Goldust rather, said, "Don't sell it." That means just ignore it. And then he did it again once before in the locker room, and he told her, "Don't sell it. Leave it alone." So yeah, there was that incident where, like I said, allegedly, nothing ever became of that other than a story. But if somebody is, you start flashing and doing stuff like that, then a lot of people can say, well, if you're capable of doing that, what's to stop you from taking it a little bit too far?
So
But
you
are not the subject of an investigation at this point. Everybody's in the clear.
So I do want to point something out. So apparently one of Janelle Grant's reps, whoever that is, did release a statement saying that Brock Lesnar's return to WWE is an attempt to sweep misconduct under the rug. Whatever that means. But that's essentially all it says. Like the conduct is just basically, I want to read the full thing. Sorry, my internet's being a little.
Oh, no, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Come on. No, USA Today. I don't want to. Okay, let's see. All right. So, for far too long, abuse was allowed to thrive under WWE's leadership. Instead of righting this wrong, the WWE has done nothing to ensure those responsible are held accountable. This attempt to sweep misconduct under the rug will backfire. We look forward to the full set of facts, including those about Mr. Lesnar, coming out in a court of law where they belong. In the meantime, we refer you back to Janelle Grant's updated complaint, which outlines in detail the abuse she endured by McMahon and others while employed. This is on X, but I want to see. It doesn't, I don't see. It's just a copy paste of Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful released it today around noon. But I want to see the actual. It's literally just a screenshot of something. It's not even like a. It doesn't say. See, this is a rep. See, this is the problem here. So, in the same article, it says representatives for Janelle Grant do not have a statement about Brock Lesnar's return. Into Grant's amended lawsuit, she says Vince McMahon offered her to Brock Lesnar in an attempt to get him to resign with the company. That's it.
Okay.
So, I don't.
I'm trying to find some articles myself while I'm sitting here. Yeah. But yeah, because there's so many fake articles out here.
The same people that released this statement that Janelle's rep also released saying, according to multiple legal summaries, Grant's lawyers clarified Lesnar did nothing wrong and that he wasn't aware of what Vince was trying to do behind the scenes. In fact, her legal team made it clear that he was not a willing participant in anything. So I look at this. I think from what I understand, he has been cleared of any wrongdoing.
Okay, let me see. Yeah, there's one moment.
You know myself.
Okay, this is Yahoo Sports. Real quick.
So, and if you follow basically the links, like there are other people that have said that do not have to say that. The same lady posted that another person posted. See, this is the problem with posting random shit. representatives for Janelle Grant do not have a statement about Lesnar's return. So I don't think. Also, I want to point out that Dave Meltzer, whether you want to believe Dave Meltzer or not, however you feel about Dave Meltzer, said earlier today on his show that WWE and TKO lawyers cleared Lesnar's return a month ago.
Okay, and on Yahoo Sports, it clarifies again, Lesnar itself isn't in any legal jeopardy.
Nope.
He's not in any legal jeopardy yet.
No, he's not.
He's not in any legal or civil jeopardy.
This is a strictly Vince McMahon, John Laurinaitis lawsuit.
Oh, Johnny Ace?
Yeah, John Laurinaitis was like the two main that were the two people that were named in this lawsuit were Vince McMahon and John Laurinaitis.
Oh,
originally.
Johnny Ace. Okay.
Yeah.
The people's general manager. Ain't that some shit?
Yeah. So those are the two that were named in this lawsuit. So I look, it again, controversial, sure. But again, I don't want to live in a place where if you're cleared of any wrongdoing, then you're not allowed to live your life. People get mad about it all they want, but if he's cleared, right? Or am I wrong?
I mean, if you're cleared, you're cleared. And if you're not in any legal jeopardy yourself, you're just being named in there because somebody decided to, hey, if you go out here and I'm trying to word this in a politically correct.
I'll put it like, let's say I was a dealer of substances, okay? And I came to you, Champ, and I said, hey, Champ, you want some substances? And you were like, no. And then I was found guilty of dealing substances. And then in the affidavit, they said, well, there was a point when we found that Mr. Flash went and offered substances to Champ.
Yeah.
And you're named in the affidavit. You didn't do anything wrong.
I was just there.
You were just there. So
yeah.
So that's kind of how I look at it. That's the best way that I can give a different analogy.
And if you're not yourself in any legal trouble and you're not a part of this civil suit, and somebody's just said, hey, he offered to he wanted me to, perform a 2-man, and then and I turned it down, and the man himself turned it down, and he's not in any legal trouble, then that's a whole nother ball game.
Yeah, that's a whole nother ball. Now, don't get me wrong, like from what Vince was doing and John Laurinaitis was doing with her, that's disgusting and illegal. Yeah. If she was not aware of it, and if she was not a willing participant, that they should be buried underneath the prison. Like I don't, that's so I don't want to dismiss anything that they were doing in that aspect.
Yeah, not at all, because that is nothing to play with.
No.
At all. So we're not dismissing that. We're just making light of the situation that Brock himself is not named in any legal trouble or he's named in the lawsuit, but they're not suing him. They're suing Vince and Johnny Ace.
Yes.
For those who don't know. So they're suing. But however, when you bring somebody, when you're named in a lawsuit, let's just keep it all the way above. Social media will convict your ass quicker than the court of law will.
Oh, absolutely.
The social media, he did it. Damn. It's kind of like what's that? Remember that scene in VR, if you know what I'm talking about. Remember that scene in the Boondocks? Mm-hmm. You had Uncle Ruckus sitting on the damn podium in the jury.
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. So so that's how social media is. With social media. And already, Brock is pretty much an intimidating man anyway. So they're going to find a way. Yeah, he's intimidating. He did. So, yeah.
That brother is guilty.
He's guilty. So, it's going to be a lot of controversy behind it. Unfortunately, it's just, it's a slippery slope at this point. But, you have to be careful with it.
And at this, and before we move on, at this point, is there, if you're done with The Rock, as far as a big money John Cena match, can you John Cena, Brock Lesnar. Can you really get more big money than that? Because I doubt they bring Roman Reigns into this. So you don't get really any more big money than John Cena, Brock Lesnar.
I do have a question. I guess that would lead to my question would be, is this the last feud for Cena? Is this how he ends it?
To be completely honest with you,
Yeah.
I think so. I think he ends it with Brock because Brock's the one guy he hasn't gotten the better of yet. I think they get a trilogy with these three. I think he finishes with Brock.
Yeah. So Lesnar ends his career.
Yeah. Either that or SummerSlam 2026 is in Minneapolis, depending on how long he wants to go.
Who, Cena?
Lesnar.
Oh.
Does he want a farewell tour?
Does he want to do something kind of like a farewell tour? Because if Lesnar's back, you got matches on the table that he can do now. If you're gonna bring him back, I don't think
this is a one. I don't think this is a one-off. I don't know. I think Lesnar's back. Maybe not. Lesnar will never be a full-time wrestler, but I think he's back.
I think he's back too. I think the one match, if he's back, we know the one match is everybody's going to clamor for, and I think we finally might be able to get it, and that's him and Gunther. Yeah,
I know. I know everybody wants that.
Everybody wants that, and they teased it a little bit. I think what was it? Royal Rumble 23. They teased it a little bit.
Yeah. Well, now, tell me you wouldn't want to see Brock versus Braun Breaker.
That's what I'm saying. That's another day. You got Brock versus Gunther. You got Brock versus Braun Breaker. You got they're Bronson Reed. If you want to go that route, there are matches to be had with the returning Brock Lesnar. There's big money matches to be had with a returning Brock Lesnar.
Yes, there are. I definitely believe that he is wrestling in Minneapolis next year at SummerSlam. I
that's his retirement match.
I think he can do. I think what Lesnar does the next however many years, he does what Taker does the last couple of years of his career. I think he just
becomes an attraction.
He's like 3 to 4 matches a year. That's about it.
He becomes an attraction.
Like
Andre the Giant was.
Yeah, and that's okay. I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
he's there to he's there. That's what he was kind of doing when he lost to Cody already. He was just, so I'm okay with that. And I am still holding out some kind of hope that The Rock is, I know I shouldn't, but The Rock is Cena's final match.
At this point, I don't see it. I don't see it anymore. I don't see it anymore. Yeah, exactly. I don't think there's a path to get there because I think the path that could ultimately led to there would have been had The Rock showed up instead of Brock.
Yeah, I agree.
But with it being Brock showing up, I think you just basically played your card as far as who Cena's final feud is going to be. I think unless The Rock clears up everything off of his schedule and makes himself available for the back end of the Cena retirement run, I think the idea of him finishing with The Rock should die at this point.
I think Cena's promo on Friday night was kind of a clear shot at The Rock
and Travis Scott. He lit them both up.
Yeah, like I'm just going to be blunt. Like The Rock screwed up this whole heel turn.
He did.
And he deserves all the shit that he's going to get from it. I saw people complaining about Brock returning last night and how this Cena heel turn was worthless and blah, blah, blah. And to a certain extent, people were right. But if people were putting blame on Cena and Triple H, I'm like, No. We need to put the blame on The Rock. You came out, you did this final boss thing, you came out with this Cena thing, and then you disappeared. If you're not willing to commit to something, then don't do it. Sorry. Like, and don't get me wrong, I love the whole final boss gimmick that I thought it was some of his best work in his whole career as a wrestler.
I think it was his best work of his career.
I think it was too. I think it was better than anything he had ever done, ever. Then that's saying something. And
because it showed because we talked about it like when that was going on, like it showed a depth and it showed a new side. It showed character development that we really hadn't seen from The Rock in a while. And it just like we talked about, we know he could be the good baby face. We know he could be the corporate kind of heel. We've never seen these sociopathic, just deranged, delusional side of him. Well, and that's what we got with the final boss.
We did when, remember when he beat Mick Foley to death with the chair?
But
that was a little bit of it.
That was a little bit. This was Super Saiyan, like full on. I know. This was full on evolving, like, yeah.
We picked pumpkins today. You get a pumpkin.
Okay. Say hey.
Hi.
Hey.
Hello.
All right. Thank you.
It's candy pumpkin.
Candy pumpkin in the middle of a podcast. Only live, folks.
Get it? Yeah, candy pumpkins, like those wax pumpkin candies. I know what you're talking about, BRF. I got you. Nothing? It's like candy corn, but in the shape of pumpkins.
Candy corn, but pumpkins.
Yeah.
Oh, hell no.
Oh man, that's
She's still there. Is it?
No, she's not here.
Okay, then I didn't want to say that in front of her, hurt her feelings, but no, I eat that, but that messed up my organs. Messed up my organs. At my age, I can't afford to do this. So, real. I'm just being real here.
It looks like Nikki Bella has recovered from her pectoral injury, and is out.
She to fix them titties. Okay, cool.
Yep. She done fix it. She's out confronting.
I never sent it in a rib cage. I saw that elbow and I'm like, oh yeah, she hurt her. She hurt her. Oh
yeah. Hey man, look, got to get back to work. You want to make them alimony payments. So, get back to work. You want to pay the alimony payments. You can't miss payment. Remember what happened to all them dudes and women in New Jersey? Hell, the government took it right out their damn check.
Yeah. Okay. So, how does this end then with Lesnar? We got 4 months left, by the way.
We got 4 months still.
That's kind of my point.
That's going to lead me into my next question. Was it now the right time to end John Cena's reign, or should they let Brock versus Cena be a championship match?
Heck no. I'll answer the second part. No. Let me tell you something. Regardless of how we feel about the whole legal situation with Brock, the last thing you need is him being involved in that, regardless of whether he's cleared or not, and wrestling for a championship. No, because eventually he has to win it. So no.
That's where I disagree. I the only reason why I think it was right to end the reign now, if The Rock wasn't involved at all or going to be, is we had such a beautiful passing of the torch moment last night that we rarely see, where it will actually go on. Like we saw it with Hogan and the Warrior, and the Warrior just was the Warrior and it failed and it petered out because he is who he was as a person. But other than that, we haven't seen many genuine passing, like Hogan and The Rock. but then The Rock went off and did Hollywood stuff. So
yeah, we didn't get a chance in the WWE. We haven't gotten a chance to see that true passing of the torch type of moment.
and
We didn't get to see. No,
I think we did finally last night.
Yeah,
I
we
think
did.
the only one that we got the chance to truly see, although we were kids at the time, was Andre versus Hulk. That
Yeah,
was the only one.
but even after the match, though, like, you know, Andre went off with Heenan, and they were still. This was like a genuine. Like, Cody now has gotten the genuine passing the torch from
That
Lesnar.
rub.
The rub.
Yeah,
from
they got that
Lesnar.
rub.
He
Yeah.
got it from Lesnar 2 years ago at SummerSlam, and now he's gotten it from Cena.
Oh, we saw it with The Rock versus John Cena. We saw that with the whole passing.
Yeah.
It was brief.
I think you got a
Very
little bit. You got a little bit of it there too. Not to the extent of what John Cena and Cody Rhodes, because John Cena and Cody Rhodes was just full on. Here you go, my face of the franchise, my face of the franchise torch. Here you go, and that was beautiful.
It did, and it was. As much as my whole prediction and theory of how this Cena thing was going to play out, which I still would have loved to have seen, because kudos to me, I thought it was actually kind of a cool theory. But I love seeing that. I thought that was cool. I think seeing Cena be John Cena and Cody, this is exactly why I never thought Cody was going to go heel. He's the face of the company. He is the new face of the company that will take the company for the next 10 years. And so it was cool to see whatever Cena said to Cody. I guess Cody said something about what he said, but I don't want to know. I just want that to them, between them and Cody coming to tears. Although that man's always crying about something.
kind of like Ric Flair.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like Ric Flair.
Crying about something.
That's part of his contract.
But I it was just a great moment, and I think, instead of it happening the way that I thought it was going to happen, it happened this way instead. And I'm okay with that. I think it was a great moment. It was a damn good match for what Cena is capable of. It was a damn good match. And so I'm totally okay with it. Brock and Cena doesn't need a title.
Nope.
There's so much background to that where he doesn't need a title. So I'm okay with it.
One thing I will never forget about the John Cena heel turn, because we were kids when Hulk Hogan turned. God rest his soul. We were kids when Hulk Hogan turned, but the social media impact on John Cena's heel turn was kind of crazy. Only thing you heard, I never forget. I watched this one video, man. That's when you got the fans. I never forget. I saw the video, and the only thing you heard in the background was these kids just crying, just like, and it was like, it was crazy at Elimination Chamber. It was like, that's the only thing you saw was kids just crying. I remember one little girl, she threw all her John Cena stuff down the stairs. She threw it down the stairs. That was crazy.
Oh yeah.
What are your thoughts on Cody Rhodes winning, and who should be his next feud? In y'all's humble opinion.
I definitely do think, okay, with the babyface Cena turn, the right call was Cody going over, and like, you weren't gonna get. The only way to get a true classic like you got last night was babyface Cody versus babyface Cena. You weren't like, that's why, like, a lot of people were disappointed in that WrestleMania match. But then when they booked, I knew it was gonna be a much better match when they added the street fight element into it. But then John Cena cuts the promo, and it goes back to babyface Cena. I'm like, this is going to be about a 35-40 minute war. and that's exactly what we got. We got a 35-40 minute war, because that was an amazing match. That's by far Cena's best match of this run so far. And Cody is just, people can talk about Cody Rhodes all they want to. When that man has to pull it out of his butt for a banger, Cody Rhodes, like, since he's been back in WWE, has had so many good matches, and I don't think he gets enough credit for the good matches that he's had. since he's been back in WWE. Whether it was all three Seth Rollins matches, whether it was the matches with Roman, shoot, the matches he had with AJ Styles, like, you know, the match at Backlash, and then the I Quit match, the match he had with AJ. Kevin Owens. I mean, Cody Rhodes has had a lot of really, really good matches. He got a good steel cage match out of Solo Sikoa, like, at the time. So I mean, Cody Rhodes, when it's time to go, Cody Rhodes can go with the best of them. So I think we need to kind of put some respect on his name as far as like the quality of matches that he's had since he's been back in the WWE. I definitely think it was the right call of putting it back on him. I talked to Flash about it before. I think now it's time. Like, you've had AJ, and you've had KO, and you've had, like, you know, you got the Cena element. I mean, you've got the already established superstars for really the first Cody title reign, and then Cody getting it back. Now it's time for some new blood for this title reign. I've said Aleister Black should be his first one, and I'm kind of sticking by it. I think Aleister Black should be his first one. I think it's time to establish some new breed, some new blood, as far as, you know, as far as world title matches being in the main event scene. I think it's time to establish some new people. I think it makes sense with his heel turn and just this new edge that he's developed in himself. Well, not even really a new edge, kind of basically bringing that AEW edge back with Aleister Black. I think Aleister Black should be the first opponent for Cody Rhodes.
Flash.
I don't.
Cody and LA Knight.
No, because
we don't need another babyface thing. We don't need that right now.
LA Knight just confronted Seth this early on Raw today, so that's the no.
They're fighting for the World Heavyweight title tonight.
What about Cody and Braun?
I want to look at the roster real quick.
I don't think they're gonna do any Raw crossovers right now. Now, I will say this though.
I'm confused though right now. Like, LA Knight's a SmackDown guy, and now he's on Raw confronting Rollins, and then Alexa Bliss and Charlotte are SmackDown, and now they're on Raw. Are we just not?
The tag team titles crossover from show to show. So
no, that's true. Yeah, I would say it's going to be. I think it's going to be Drew.
I forgot about him. I could see that too.
I think it's going to be Drew McIntyre. I'm not. I think, because here's the problem. If you throw Clash of Paris, like, I think if you throw Aleister Black, you're going to bury Aleister, because you're not going to put the title on him.
Yeah.
Like, you don't. He's just got back. Let's not feed him to Cody yet. Let's not do that. Like, I think it's going to be I think it's going to be Drew.
Okay. Yeah, because with Drew McIntyre, you need an element of Drew can beat him for the title. Like, Drew could make him a transitional champion. You need that element there. So yeah, it does make sense for it to be Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, I because let's be honest, the eventual thing we're gunning for Rhodes Reigns 3 at WrestleMania next year. I do think that's the end game. I think that's the end game. With The Rock out of the picture, from what it seems like, I think that's the end game right there.
Okay. And man, yeah, and a potential, and not only that, a potential face versus face dynamic too. It's gonna be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Oh man, that'll be good. All right, real quick, as we blow through these next few seconds. Match of the night, night one.
Match of the night, night one. CM Punk, Gunther.
Oh yeah, that's like possibly match of the year.
Okay.
That's yeah. It is that even without Rollins coming back, like and doing the match on its own is phenomenal. In fact, it's the only match out of both nights where I didn't go on my phone at all.
Okay. Night 2.
Cody Cena. Cody Cena for me, I will say this though. That TLC match is close. That TLC match is close. But I'm gonna go. But yeah, you gotta give it to Cody. You gotta give it to Cody Cena for night 2.
Yeah, it's Cody Cena. Yeah.
Did they overbook night 2? Because it seems like they overbooked the hell out of it.
No.
Uh-uh.
I didn't like. I'm
asking you guys' expertise. Y'all breathe, sleep, and eat wrestling. I'm just asking from a fan, from a casual.
You good because it's a good topic to discuss. So no, you good, bro. No, you go ahead, Flash.
I just don't. I thought there were too many teams in the TLC match. I just need 3. Give me 3. It's too much. Don't get me wrong. The spots were great. What's her face taking the dive onto the ladders?
Candice
LeRae. Bravo to her. Like what a spot. The athleticism was great. I thought the high spot. It was a spot fest. But the thing that what bothers me, and I said this last night about the tag team division, I want stories to come out of it. Like I need to care about the tag team division, and I don't care. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
I need to why do I care about the Street Profits or the Wyatt Six? Like even the Wyatt Six are just kind of in purgatory right now. Like the Motor City Machine Guns. Why do I care? Like I just don't. Like it's weird. It's like they don't know what to do. They need to bring like managers and good ones back that are mouth. There's just no
substance to it.
No, it's just empty.
To your point, I feel like this. I never forget when sticking to outside of the 80s and I will say the early 90s, right before you got into the new generation era, but right before you got into the attitude era, it seems like the tag championships kind of lost their luster in like the new generation era, regained itself back during the the NWO/WWE Attitude Era, was real good in the Ruthless Aggression era, and then now it's turned back to what it was back in the New Generation era. Kind of even in towards the end of the Golden Era, which ended in like '92 when Hope went to left to WWE. It seems like it's very, very a transitional type of championship. Well, it's like a transitional type of championship. It's like there's not that love fest that you have with tag team championships. Like when you had the Los Guerreros, you loved that tag team. When you had even when Batista and Rey Mysterio, they teamed up and won the tag titles. You loved that tag title. When you had even the Big Show and the Kane, they teamed up. It was like, I don't think nobody can beat these guys. And when Chris Benoit and Chris Jericho, they teamed up. It seems like you cared, to your point. Even when two superstars were put together, and it was like, this will never work. Remember when Stephanie McMahon put Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit together, and they became WWE Tag Champions?
Yeah.
You actually cared because there was a storyline behind that.
Well,
it was a tournament.
I think
I want story. I want drama. I want to actually know these established guys. I want the tag team champions to be a household name, not just some guy I just turn on the TV screen and say, oh, there's Montez Ford. And then, okay.
Well, and I think I figured out the issue why. We used to make stars out of tag teams. Now we make stars out of factions. So, like back in the day, the Rockers, you had Marty Jannetty, Shawn Michaels. You made a star out of Shawn Michaels. the Hart Foundation. You made a star out of Bret Hart, between him and Jim the Anvil Neidhart. The Smoking Guns, and you tried it with Billy Gunn and Bart Gunn. Like Billy Gunn ended up being more of the star in that one.
Well, in fairness, Bart did win the brawl for all.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I'm being
He wasn't supposed to win that brawl for all, but that's the thing though. But now we make stars out of factions, and so even the Hardy Boys, even though they're still a tag team now, like Jeff became the star. We all knew that Jeff was the star of the two. If he doesn't have all the substance abuse issues, he's probably a way bigger star than he is now, even. So I think that's part of the problem is that we don't, like, everybody's wanting Montez Ford to ascend to a new level. And it's like, but why do I care for him to? Like, that's great that he can jump out of the ring, but like, can he tell a story in the ring? Why do I care? And I don't.
Yeah. And like I said, it's kind of, and the thing is, to your point, they used to make tag teams out. They used to make stars out of tag teams. Remember, back in the Attitude Era, what they're doing now, as far as factions are concerned, that's how they made stars back in the Attitude Era. Remember, the Nation, D-Lo, you had several stars come out of that by itself.
Yep.
You had The Rock, who was the biggest star. You had the Godfather, who was the second biggest star. You had Mark Henry, who had stardom on his own. Then you had D'Lo Brown. Everybody was a star within their own right. The Rock being the biggest. Even when you had the Hart Foundation, you had star-studded cast. DX, they had a star-studded cast. Each one of them became champions in their own right. But you had a whole bunch of other factions that it really didn't make sense. Like the Los Boricuas. That one was, with Salvio Vega and company. Then you had what was the DOA, the Disciples of Apocalypse?
Yeah, but look at Evolution.
Yeah, Evolution.
Prime example.
Evolution. Yeah, I mean, I never forget. I used to like those Disciples of Apocalypse. I mean, if you really ask me, if they would have came out doing the Sons of the Anarchy, that would have been something to behold.
Mm-hmm.
That was ahead of their time in that one, but we don't really have that tag team star-studded power anymore.
Well, the WWE also I kind of blame the booking. I kind of blame their booking on that too. I blame the WWE on this too, because the Street Profits went for like 113 days as tag team champions, and they don't even get a PLE defense. Like you can't build and establish nobody if you don't put them on the main stage.
No, but okay, I'm going to play a little bit of devil's advocate though. Like, why should they? What match would you put them over?
The tag team division's been like one of the hottest things going for the past few months.
Okay,
so I mean, you could no from like oh no, go ahead.
Well, no, but I'm saying like this is the problem. What match are you taking off the card then?
As which card?
Whatever card, night one, like you're saying that they should. If you're not going to feature them on a PLE, what match are you taking off the card to put the tag team titles on? This is kind of the problem on why. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we'd have to go back through. We have to go back through every card to see every match to see to see which matches were on those cards.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like,
we need to revisit that next week's show.
Yeah,
we need to we need to really revisit that, because I would love to see what match you would take off the card in order to do that. But that'll take
because I ain't gonna lie. If we go back through like Backlash and Money in the Bank, I think I could probably find some. I think I could probably find some to put the WWE tag team titles on. I think I could probably find some.
I'm sure there's some.
Yeah, I'm sure. Real quick. Well, this is not a quick segment. Jade Cargill's best match today was that last night, and when will she be ready for a run with fire? Because I know she's not. Everybody has come out and said she's not ready as of yet, but that was arguably one of her best matches since she's been in the WWE. So, was that her best match? And do you see like a year from now at WrestleMania that she'll be ready for a title run when she gets a little bit more polished?
I think, like I said, I'm still torn between the match from night one with Tiff and the Naomi match from WrestleMania being her best too. I'm still kind of torn. I'm still kind of torn between those two, but those are her best two matches. I think I might be crazy for saying this. I think she has Royal Rumble winner all over her. I think in my opinion, I think she's gonna be like one of the 2 or 3 clear-cut favorites to win it in 2026. I'm kind of going out on a limb and saying I think she may be the favorite to win it, depending on how they treat the angles going forward from here. Because if this is what I'll say, if Bianca Belair comes back and is the one to ultimately take down Tiffany Stratton and win the WWE Women's Championship, Jade Cargill's winning the Royal Rumble. That's kind of how I feel. That's kind of how I feel. I feel like I think the big money women's match is Jade and Bianca. I think we're gonna get it at WrestleMania 42 because I think Bianca's gonna be the one to take it off of Tiff, and I think Jay's gonna be the one to run the Rumble. So it wouldn't shock me at all if it went down that road. No, she's not ready to be world champion yet because there's still some greenness to her. But she's improving. Like with every match, she's getting better, and you can see it. You can see it with every match she has. You know it's coming. Like she needs to just continue honing her craft. She needs to keep doing what she's doing. It's coming. But now, no. But I think I'm starting to think Tiffany wasn't as ready to be women's champion either. Now that I'm thinking about it, but
Well,
the right call was made for Tiff to win. I just, I think what it was, I think Tiffany Stratton was destined to be a heel on the main roster, and the fans was like, no, we want her. And they were really forced into a corner and they had no choice.
Yep. That's the problem with Tiff. I think she was ready, but ready as a heel, not ready as a babyface. And she's been hard to book. Jade, I don't think it's this year's WrestleMania. I think you want Jade and Bianca for WrestleMania, but I think it's more than likely to give her more time. I think it's Jade Bianca at SummerSlam next year.
That's fair.
That is fair. I think another year.
Well, I don't know. It's August, so it's still early. It's still early as far as like trying to call the Royal Rumble, but I don't know. We'll see when it gets closer.
Oh, that's an easy one. Liv will be back.
Like I just wouldn't know who to. I wouldn't. Yeah, see, at this point, I wouldn't. Yeah, see, I wouldn't know who to pick yet now. So yeah, we'll get to that.
In my opinion, right now, the easy one is Liv. That's the easy one. She'll be back at that time.
All right.
That's
all right. This is a quick question and answer segment. All right. Should they switch up the Survivor Series back to the traditional Survivor Series match for at least one night? Like if they do a night one and a night two, should they have it? Should they take it back to the roots just for one night?
I think it depends on the storyline that they're telling at the time.
Exactly.
Okay.
I think I don't want war games for the sake of war games. Like that was the nice thing about like old school Survivor Series. Like you could just be like, oh, well, Seth Rollins is having his team and Roman Reigns is having his team. And I'm going to pick my best 4 guys. And I'm going to pick, it was kind of like it just depends on what they're doing. I mean, right now you could do a thing where it's Seth's team versus Roman's team. So you could do war games, but then you'd have to add like Roman, you'd have the old school bloodline essentially. You
again.
probably have Roman and Jay and Jimmy, and then I don't know if do you get Cody and Punk again? Like, do we kind of go back? Do we? Because we're then we're doing the same thing we did, but it's just going to be old. It's just going to be old. It's going to be the same thing essentially, and I don't but it'd be the new. It wouldn't be the new bloodline, so I don't know if I want to see that.
No, for War Games this year, nah. It would be Seth Rollins' team for this War Games.
I don't see War Games right now in my head that I would be interested in, where there's an actual reason why there's a War Games. And truth be told, I just would be fine with no type of special traditional Survivor Series anything this year. I don't see it. I don't see any two factions that are worthy to go into a War Games style match. Like to me, like War Games should be like we're at a point of a blood feud. It's like the third. It's like the rubber match in a trilogy. Like you want that to be like a steel cage, Hell in a Cell type match. And I don't see anything right now unless you did a Punk versus Rollins team. That's the only thing right now that you could set up for Survivor Series. But I don't know. That would be the only thing. Other than that, I don't know. I'm
starting to think they're going to go that route too, though.
That's what I think. It's going to be Punk versus
Yeah.
But I think
they're going to. I think they're going to go that route.
That's what I think too. But I don't know if it's going to be a War Games route though.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think they're ready to let that go yet.
No.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how they build it up. Like I said on Sports for You Wrestling podcast, I always love Survivor Series. That was outside of Mania, that was my favorite main event because that was the dark pay-per-view. It was always the dark pay-per-view. It was always something dark going on with that pay-per-view. Especially, look, when you think about how dark the 96 the 1997 pay-per-view was as far as Survivor Series concerned. Outside of the Montreal Screwjob. Remember when Mankind and Kane went head up with each other?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was real dark. The very next year they had the WWE tournament match. That was real dark. They just got very, very murky with it because they had no WWE champion. Then the very next year, Stone Cold gets hit with the car.
Yeah.
And then the very next year, you had Survivor Series 2000. Then comes Survivor Series 2001. You had the Alliance versus, the WWE. Then 2002 gets here. You had the Elimination Chamber match. Very, very dark. Then the very next year, during the Survivor Series match, you had Hardcore Holly coming back versus Brock Lesnar, after Brock Lesnar had hurt his neck. Did he really hurt his neck? Or was that all a work?
If you saw how, I think he really hurt his neck because if you saw how he landed on his neck, I think he really hurt his neck.
Yeah. So yeah, it was always something very, very dark going on in Survivor Series. So Survivor Series, although I'm not a big fan of horror movies, that was always my thing. It's kind of like the whole year is kind of like Marvel, but then they step out and do DC Comics on the Survivor Series. It was always something special going on during Survivor Series, man. So Survivor Series always been that one where it's just always same thing with Fall Brawl. A lot of the newer fans don't understand this, but that was stolen from WCW. Fall Brawl War Games was always the dark pay-per-view when it came to WCW. Hell, remember when War Games came out and they had the NWO versus WCW. And then the fake thing came out, then the real thing came out. Then you had the Horsemen versus the NWO. And then that's when Kurt Hennig decided to take Arn Anderson's spot. So it was always some dark going on between those two pay-per-views.
Yeah.
Thoughts on the heist of the summer?
Flash, well, you go first because you pretty much nailed this down the pipe.
I called it the night of when he got hurt. Well, I should say hurt. I said it was a work from the start.
Yeah, you did.
Night of, I'm like, that's a work. And it was. And it just, but even though I was right and I knew it was going to happen, it was done so well. Like Rollins selling the injury to like him and Becky posting videos of him with his kids, like, and they're walking down the road with their, like, and he's on crutches with the kids, and he's showing up to the Rich Eisen show with crutches. Like, he sold it. Bravo. Like, that's old school
Kayfabe.
That's old school kayfabe right there. Like, bravo fucking oh. Like, I love it.
Can you ever see something like that ever working again? Like a work like that ever working again with the internet age where it's just strictly kayfabe all over again?
Depends on that. Depends. It always comes back to it. Always depends on the angle.
Yeah, and it worked. I saw it because there were little things like, again, the ref didn't do this. And then when he went on Eisen's show and he was like, oh, there's too much swelling, and then the story just kind of went away. Like, I mean, yeah, I know him and Becky were posting things and stuff, and I'm just like, wouldn't they have announced he had, like, what kind of injury he had yet? And it just, I'm like, okay. Once they never announced what type of injury it was, I was like, I was 100% it was a work.
But I still feel like the one angle that would still kind of throw you off a little bit was the ending of the Saturday night's main event, and had that feel like they changed the ending on the spot. So that's the one thing that still kind of threw you off to where, like, know what was what. So
but I think that was done on purpose.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But we didn't know that.
No, but you're right. That's the one thing that put people into question, because what they did with Rollins and LA, was it LA Knight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it looked like they were like LA Knight did a great job of selling his part of it, where he was like, oh crap, like, he's legit hurt. Like,
yeah. And then Seth Rollins saying he was okay. Seth Rollins was like, he didn't threw the X up because Seth Rollins was like, no, I'm okay, let's finish. And then they swapped the finish. LA Knight dropped the BFT, got the 1, 2, 3, and that was it.
Oh shit.
Oh, yeah, that's nasty. It's hell. That's nasty. That's nastier than cranberry sauce and oysters right there, baby.
So Punk comes out, interferes in the LA Knight match and Rollins heavyweight title match. They beat the crap out of both of them. And Roman comes out.
That's the setup for Survivor Series.
Yeah.
Yep. They already building it up.
We just got through talking about this.
They building it up. They building up Survivor Series. They building it up.
Well, it makes sense because, I mean, we think about, we go back to WrestleMania 2 years ago or a year and a half ago. Seth was the one that helped cost Roman the title.
Outside of the true Farmer Boss.
Yeah.
Take her.
There's still, like, the amount of, like, blood feud between Roman and Rollins goes back to the Shield. I completely
forgot. I feel like, if we don't get them at WrestleMania, we have to get them at SummerSlam.
I hope he get them shoes back. You say that not get your ass whooped. You didn't get your shoes.
The shoe will follow.
The shoe will follow. They gonna take the shoes off again. Hold on.
By the way, Braun Breaker is totally fine.
No, Braun is totally fine.
He just tweaked his knee a little bit. He's fine.
Okay.
He just speared the shit out of Roman right now, so he's fine.
Yeah. I like the way he pays homage to his dad and his uncle, man, because he said, who was stronger, you in your time or your dad and your uncle there? He said, no, I'm not winning that fight. He said, I'm not winning that fight. He said, my dad and my uncle were strong here, but they were old school strong. So, but man, And last subject, man, I have to ask this question. I think I asked this question earlier in the year after WrestleMania, but I have to ask it once again. Should Seth versus CM Punk end in Hell in a Cell?
Absolutely. You either that or last man standing. One of the two. But I think this is Seth the CM Punk is Hell in a Cell worthy. Like, yes, it is very much Hell in a Cell worthy. Where they do it to be determined. But yeah, at this point in their rivalry, Hell in a Cell is probably the only way you end that feud.
That or a barbed wire steel cage match.
Yes, but I would actually like an Iron Man match instead.
Ooh,
I can see that.
No disqualification Iron Man match.
Yeah, I'm about to say it's got to be. I think it's got to be a no holds barred Iron Man match. You gotta go back to that Orton Cena road. Like a simple Iron Man match can't do it. It's got to be a no holds barred.
Dude, he stole his shoes again.
He stole the shoes again.
Yeah,
He stole the damn shoes. Well, you get your shoes. He stole the
Roman giving him these shoes on purpose.
I think it's just going to be a running joke now, which is hilarious.
We gonna hope you know. The thing is, well, never mind. It's a culture thing. They whoop your ass and stick your damn shoes.
The damn tribal thief.
The tribal thief. They whoop your ass and they send you home bare feet. And everybody asking where your shoes.
Yep.
Wow.
The shoe will follow.
The shoe will follow.
I want to see him come out there with both pair of shoes on his neck week.
I hope he does.
He better. He got to validate this.
Every time you wear pair of shoes, I'm taking bitches off your feet. Oh man, hell, that I think the idea for the Iron Man match on disqualification would be real good. I mean, that would be amazing. Plus, you know how good they are at entertaining. I think the only two that can do that right now is CM Punk and Seth freaking Rollins. So I think that would be good, man. So man,
and real quick, you gotta give him an hour. Ain't no 30 minutes. You gotta give him a full hour.
Yep. Yeah. Gotta be a full hour. No 30 minutes. That doesn't count. 30-minute.
Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, no, you gotta give him an hour.
Yeah.
What's so funny about the Iron Man match is, well, no disrespect, Flash, but you're old enough to understand what I'm about to say. Remember back in the 70s, early 80s, well, in the 70s and the 80s, hell, Ric Flair was doing that every damn night.
Yeah.
Yeah, him, Bear Windham, Lex, guys, the old school guys was doing that every night doing the main event. I mean, they call it an Iron Man match today. Ric Flair was doing that every other night.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a little bit biased because Michaels is my favorite wrestler ever, but and I think he's the GOAT, but I still maintain that Bret Hart Shawn Michaels Iron Man match at WrestleMania 12 is the best match of all time. Yeah, that's in my opinion. And again, I completely say bias, and I have bias in that, but you're right though. Like back old school, like you want to go back to old school, like when in the infancy of what pro wrestling was in like the early 1900s. That's what like matches went for hours.
Yeah.
Hours. Like when it was actual still grappling, when it was still like legit wrestling before it
back during the Sweet Daddy Sky days.
Yeah, like before it turned into like entertainment more or less.
Yeah.
When it was still legit wrestling, like those guys used to go for like 2, 3, 4 hours until somebody gave up. Like that was legit stuff back then. So like I'd love to see. I don't know if Punk can do it at his age, but I'd love to see an Iron Man match between him and Seth. I think that would be.
I think that would be good too, man.
Yep.
Man, on that note, man, I had fun tonight, man. It is always good to see these two brilliant gentlemen, the gentleman of Georgia, that being BRF, and the personification of greatness, Flash. It's always good to see these two cook when it comes to wrestling, man. I'm more of a spectator than I am a host, so I love to see these two cook. Like I said, I watch wrestling. These two breathe it. So there's a difference in the verbiage, there's a difference in the knowledge, and a difference in the education of it. So, and for Flash to bring up the Iron Man match, and the first thing I brought up was damn Hell in the Cell. That just goes to show you how knowledgeable that he really is about wrestling. And anything y'all wish to add?
Shout out, shout out to, I know WWE is looking, they facing a lot of bad PR right now. Shout out to them for this SummerSlam, because they needed a WrestleMania mulligan bad. They needed it bad because it's like what we say about WrestleMania. Night one was meh, but the main event was awesome. Night 2 was amazing, and the main event was meh. There was like not one low light, in my opinion, about SummerSlam. And like I said, even the Jacob Fatu Solo Sikoa match, you got that sick moonsault spot. So there wasn't really like a real low light for SummerSlam. When I say they made up for WrestleMania, you couldn't have had a better 2-night event than what they did for SummerSlam. I mean, just top to bottom on both nights, just well done. In my opinion, unless Survivor Series really just unless Survivor Series just rips a new hole in the Petco Park, SummerSlam for me is easily going to be PLE of the year.
Last.
I'm excited right now where I think what the WWE did last night and this weekend, it made me not know where they're going with things, which makes me excited. Because unfortunately, being 43 years old and been a wrestling fan most of my life, you have a tendency to be able to see what's coming. And so to not be able to see what's coming is a rare luxury as an older wrestling fan. So I'm excited. I'm genuinely excited. I mean, I love where they're possibly going to go with this. Yeah, I'm just excited. I'm just excited as a wrestling fan. So.
Yes, indeed. I am too, man. It's always good to see when something is the norm, it's okay, but cool. But when you actually see something from your childhood, like we actually got a chance to see kayfabe during this run. We're actually getting a chance to see kayfabe. And when you bring kayfabe back to it, that brings back the hardcore, what Dusty Rhodes used to say, the tradition. Tradition always exceeds entertainment at times. So it's always good to see kayfabe the way it is right about now.
I still have one complaint, though.
Uh-oh.
Get the stupid advertisements off the tables.
Please. Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
I can't do it. I've accepted the advertisements on the ring, like on the canvas. Fine, whatever. Boxing's been doing it. UFC does it. Whatever. Fine. I don't notice it half the time. But the Slim Jim fucking it just sticks out like a sore thumb. It just does, and it takes you out of the moment for some reason. Like, it's such an eye-popping ad. It's just like, it's a Slim Jim table. Good Lord, is it?
I thought it was the only one that knows that.
It's like the commentators trying to call that, like, oh my God, he's going under the ring, he's pulling out the Slim Jim table. Yeah. I'm like, just no. Just
snap into a table like you snap into a Slim Jim, and it's just like, no, just don't.
Right, like no.
Look, I get it. Fine, I get it. The only two things that have really bothered me is that and the amount of commercials that we get on a SmackDown is really bad. even on a Netflix, if you pay, even if you just pay for basic, the amount of commercials, and you don't just get the commercials, then you get the commercials during a match. Like they had a match, I complained about it in the chat. Like during Alexa Bliss and Charlotte's Alexa Bliss's match, there was commercials throughout the whole match. Like, and you just
That's
saw.
what I miss about. That's what I miss about pay-per-view.
Yeah, I don't like stop. Like just.
That's what I really miss about pay-per-view. There was no commercials.
Yeah. And now there's commercials. It's just.
Hey,
Other than that, phenomenal weekend. Great wrestling.
Get a little bit. Hey, you might get a little bit, but that, you gonna get a lot, but they ain't gonna get you all love.
I had to throw that in there. That was the one thing that bugged me all weekend. I just was like, yeah, like
Feathers. That's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. Hey, we will be back next Monday. This time with some good old fashioned bone crunching football, man. We got Sadua Sanders playing this Friday. Can't wait to see that game. We have the WNBA trade deadline that will be expiring on the 7th of August. So as we get ready to get into the latter seasons of the W and the bone crunching football of the NFL, man, let's be prepared, and we're going to bring it right to you every single time. Until then, we appreciate you. We salute you. We is gone. Holla at you.